Who went the wrong way? That's all I have to say. Oh, I don't know if this fits the podcast, but we can talk about Tesla buying Bitcoin.
No, I don't like to encourage Bitcoin at all.
I mean, it's only our due diligence since we talked about short squeezes. Now we got to talk about cryptos.
No, we don't. Hello, and this is episode 246 of We Were Gamers, a podcast apparently that's about stocks and cryptocurrency now, which I don't like and I'm not happy about. Andrew, explain yourself.
Okay, it's you know what? It's actually related to something I do want to talk about.
I mean, Andrew is here and Michael is also here. Hi, Michael.
Hi, friends.
Okay, now Andrew, explain yourself, please.
So, crypto. How do you get crypto if you don't want to pay for it, JJ? Well, you eventually pay for it, but...
Well, hold on. Are we talking about... I mean, you're just calling it crypto. Stop using the slang. We're doing an explainer here.
Oh, okay. I don't want to talk about Elon Musk and buying Bitcoins with his Tesla money. I'm not going to talk about that. But I am going to talk about how you mine coins.
Uh-huh.
For half a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best thing for doing that?
It's going to be graphics cards.
Mm-hmm.
A nice high-end one.
So on January 28th, TechSpot put out an article that I saw that I don't know if you guys saw.
I don't know what that website is, so I'm going to go with no.
With the new 3000 and 6000 series cards that have come out that are impossible to find. So you have to sign up on NVIDIA's or AMD's site to get one in a release window that they give you special for, you know?
Uh-huh.
There are other ways to get them, but that's
sure.
the best
If
one.
you want to pay MSRP, you have to wait in lines through the actual manufacturers. Otherwise, you're not going to get one at MSRP currently. Just from those
guy at a website.
Yeah, just from those generations of cards, those two brand new generations of cards, scalpers have already sold over 53,000 of them for $65 million, which is a $16 million profit.
Okay, but like, what is that per card?
I mean, a lot. 16 million. Okay, this isn't research. This is just math. Divided by 53,000 is $300 profit per card.
Yeah, okay. So $300 markup on the card is not out of the realm of what you see when stuff is in short supply.
I mean, for some cards, that's more than double. You'd imagine for...
not for any of these cards.
Well, you imagine that's weighted
for any of these
towards the expensive cards. I saw 3080s going for over double.
Oh, look, yeah,
sure, yeah.
As anything in short supply, right?
Yeah,
it's going to go for more. But if the average amount they're making is $300, that is not like, OMG, the Bitcoin miners have bought every one, right?
No, not yet. Yeah. Well, Bitcoin mining is kind of down. It's really not worth it for any coin other than that either.
I mean, it depends which coins you're mining and what sort of assigned value you give to any of them. They're all made up, so they're not really, they're only worth what people will pay you, right?
I don't have time to get into this. Or energy.
Yeah, because that's the real thing, right?
Yeah, that was a pun. That was an actual pun.
Well done. Yeah, this I approve of. Actual puns on this podcast. Hello, We Were Gamers. We're here. We're still going to talk about stuff sometimes. I think we'll switch it up and we won't talk about games first and we'll talk about news first. How about that? What do people feel?
Well, we already did some news. I know.
Let's do some more then.
More news.
Yeah. There's gonna be more news. I don't know if either of y'all saw this over the weekend or maybe or late last week, perhaps. A build of the classic N64 game Goldeneye 007. A remastered version of that game leaked onto the internet.
There had been rumors of Rare making it for the Xbox.
And this is that game. This is the Xbox Live Arcade version of GoldenEye 007. It's the same game with way better assets, basically. and it does the Halo thing where you can press the button to switch between the old graphics and the new graphics.
One of the best parts of us having played Halo, I think.
Yeah, this apparently was done something in like 2007 or something like that. Some
Thereabouts. That sounds right.
yeah. Ars Technica has a great story about it, interviewing some of the developers that worked on it at Rare at the time, and how it sort of they basically like worked on it because it was easy and they were in between projects, and they had like 8 people max, and they basically did the entire thing before they went and tried to secure the rights. Which oops. uh and yeah, then basically Nintendo turned around and told them, absolutely not will we never allow this game ever in the history of ever to come out on a Microsoft console. Goodbye. And that
Oh
was the end of the
no!
discussion there.
Whoa!
Come on, Nintendo.
Why so
So-
aggro, Nintendo?
I don't know. This is
What are they
to be
doing
fair,
with it?
nothing, but they're not allowing Microsoft to get it, that's for sure, right? And remember, this was like, 2007, 2008. I'm sure Nintendo is much more savvy about online things now, right, guys? Crickets.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no, the crickets is the right answer.
Dang. So anyway, enterprising individuals can find this, and you can play it on the Xbox emulator on your Windows PC. And I did that. It's hey, you guys ever play that Goldeneye game? This is that game.
So I busted out.
It's a great game.
I busted out my N64 this past weekend, and I was looking through the. I didn't have as many cartridges left as I thought I did. I might have lent some out because I know there's some missing, and I think GoldenEye is one of the ones that's missing because it's not in there. Perfect Dark was good though.
Yeah,
That was
and
in
there
that
was
pile.
there was an Xbox port or Xbox 360 port of Perfect Dark.
Well, because
That
Rare
came-
just
that
owns
did
it.
that did come out and has been re-released multiple times. But yeah, this is man, it just plays like that game, man. Floaty like aiming and the whole thing. It's weird using like a standard, controller with 2 joysticks and normal buttons and stuff.
I wonder what it would be like to go to it now. I haven't played it in so long, and like playing so much Call of Duty this last month or two, and the like
Dude,
type
the aiming is so bad.
and like the movement and all that. Did that game have snap aiming where if once you let go of the stick, it kind of recentered itself?
So it depends if you're zooming or not. There's a lot of auto aim, like auto aim assist. You can turn it off in the options, but you probably want it on because man, it's that's a game where there's a lot of, like in the higher difficulties, especially it just spawns dudes like all over the place behind you where you can't see and there's no radar. Like, yeah. I only played like the first couple levels, just like stuff I remembered, from back in the day. Apparently, the developers on this Ars Technica story were talking about that they made 4-player split screen work over the internet. So
That's
you would just
pretty
be
cool.
playing 4-player split screen. You would be one of the corners. The other 3 would be other players in your match on the internet,
So you could screen peek them?
just like in real life.
Oh, yeah,
What you would
okay.
do if you had 4 people at the
All
N64, right?
Yeah,
They
screen
are
peeking.
they are replicating the experience, right?
That's cool.
I thought that was super cool. And
That's a good
apparently
idea.
people have gotten that feature in this game to work via some like really complicated stuff involving like X-Link Kai and tunneling and VPNs and a bunch of stuff that like it's not worth doing, but it could be done if you were dedicated enough. And that
More
they say
power
it
to you.
works. Yeah. It's like, hey man, it's like playing this game on it's a little laggier because the internet, but that code is in there and it works apparently. Which is cool, man. I just think it's so cool. Why don't they just put that out? What the heck? Do people not like money? Like Nintendo gets a cut of this, don't they? Like
I can't
The
believe they're
people-
still holding the rights to those games.
I mean, Nintendo was the original publisher, so they have the rights to the game, right? And the Bond people or whatever. I assume the Bond people would just be in for it, right? They're like, money? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
why
how
not?
have they not bought Nintendo out of that?
Although I guess the Bond people aren't going to buy Nintendo's publishing rights to a video game, right? They don't care about that.
okay, isn't it Paramount that makes those movies? They have way more money than Nintendo.
Yeah, but they're not. They're there to make movies. They're not there to publish video games.
Well, they wouldn't make video game tie-ins if they didn't make the studio extra money.
Fair. I don't know. The only thing I heard brought up in the defense of the Bond people is that I guess they don't, or the amorphous they, whoever they are, the Bond estate or the movie people or whoever, don't like when people show Bond as the old actors, only the
Oh,
current
because it's Pierce
Bond.
Brosnan on there.
Yeah, and this is a Pierce Brosnan Bond joint, and so they would like be asking them to re-release it with Daniel Craig or whoever is the next one.
Well, yeah, because you'd probably have to relicense those actors at this point too, which is
Yeah, of course, right? Like in all the the other people in that movie. But you would think the people who made the movie would just be like, yeah, sure, use our movie. Who cares? Like, no one else is out there clamoring for that Goldeneye licensing, right?
Yeah. Not
Can't
that it would
imagine.
be, all the other challenges. Not that it would be difficult to update the art asset.
Yeah, the hardest part would be the inserting the old art of bad
Right?
res
Yeah, like
Daniel Craig or
Yeah.
whatever.
But
down
so
resing the Daniel Craig art.
think about the amount of work that would then go into this overall and the market for this game. I almost would rather personally go find, if not who I lent that cartridge to 20 years ago or whatever, just go buy one off eBay for $20 than worry
Yeah.
about like how much it's going to cost me to get an HD remaster of Goldeneye, play it for 20 minutes and be like, man, the shooting in this sucks.
I mean, the level of work that was done to this is like a $20 game. Like there's no way this game as it is, if it had come out right on Xbox 360 back in the day, they could not have charged $60 for this. People would have like no way, right? This was like a $20, $30 indie game
Yeah,
at that
digital
time.
release only.
Yeah, exactly. And from that perspective, like, yeah, $20, that's probably how much those N64 carts go on eBay these days, right? I don't know. I actually have no
I
idea.
think the real popular ones are like in the 20 to 25 range, and you can find a lot for like $6. Even the popular ones that were made a lot of, like Donkey Kong Country 64 or Donkey Kong 64.
God,
that's
bad
a
game.
good game, but like there's a bazillion of them, and so you can get them for $8.
Sounds like
Andrew,
we have a difference of opinion there.
Andrew, have you played Donkey Kong 64?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good game?
I think it's good enough for the Nintendo 64.
I mean, okay, I guess if the bar is like good enough,
Yeah.
it's not a good game though. It's a terrible game.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Playing it back when.
As
I
a
don't think I have tried playing it since then though. But
it does
it
not
would
hold
hold
up.
up.
Man,
I was gonna say like so many other things from that era.
let me point this out to a lot of people that are our age that are listening to this, because this is what it is, right? We're in the hangout zone of the people this age, the we were gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Do yourself a favor. Find one of your younger siblings and or the next generation of children that are likely around you. Hand them a controller and try to get them to play Super Mario Brothers. And watch how long they're interested in it and how far they get in the first level. That game is also hard and kind of bad.
Oh, you talking about Mario 1 specifically?
Yeah.
Mario 1 is hard. And like, yeah, it is.
So like Donkey Kong 64 and a lot of these games, they work. They were fun at the time. I'm going to give them a pass.
Okay.
Is it Spyro reignited quality good? No. I mean, like,
well, I mean, yeah, it's not as good as the remaster of Spyro. Yeah.
Sure.
You want to compare it to the original Spyro
just
is
like modern Call of
on
Duty
par.
is probably the best feeling shooter compared to GoldenEye. Like, I'd still enjoy playing it. And my point being, the N64 market is just run by availability and not so much by popularity. So like, there's a good amount of GoldenEye cartridges out there. They're only about $20.
Okay.
If you want to get a fully in original box Majora's Mask with uncracked original strategy guide, you're probably looking at $200. But you know what I mean? Like
It's
that's
probably more than 200 these days, but yes,
yeah.
yeah.
But if you're just looking
There's a
for
range.
carts, the cart
Loose
prices. I just did this recently actually because I've been cleaning out my office, and cart prices have not held up, especially with a lot of these mini consoles coming out. They've kind of dampened the market on used stuff.
You got to be in there for that physical media. That's why, right?
Yeah. So in general, like they're just not that popular, and there's not an. We are the age group of people that care, and the people ahead of us and the people behind us. Very, very slim margin of people that care about having these physical things in their houses to take up space with these huge cartridges. Like NES cartridges are massive, you know?
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, it's a tough market for those things to be worth tons of money anymore.
I think if you did that experiment you said where you sit down a younger person and have them play Mario, what if you did it with Super Mario World though? Instead of Mario 1.
Right.
I think that would hold up better. It also I don't remember if we talked about this or not, but it over the years what it means to be a hard game has changed a lot. And I think you see that like even going from Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario World,
What do you mean?
I mean the way that games used to be difficult, just sort of like difficulty for difficulty's sake, is something that doesn't really exist as much anymore in more modern games. Like games that were just NES games that were just brutally hard.
Was that a limitation of coding, or were they all intended to be brutally hard? I'm not entirely sure I know the answer.
I think the idea back then was they didn't have to program them so that you only had 3 lives and you go back to the beginning after it, right? They didn't have to do that.
Yep, but they did.
They did because everything
you were
was
only
arcade.
getting not the NES, right? The NES
No,
wasn't an arcade.
but the NES and the Atari 2600 grew up in a world of arcade games. Like the Atari 2600 is populated by half arcade games, right? And so the idea of like 3 lives comes from that zone of game making, Pac-Man and all those.
Sure,
but the pixel perfect movement is not necessarily a requirement of arcade games, and yet a lot of those early NES games were that difficult. Like if you didn't land exactly on the platform or you clipped the tiniest bit of the bat flying across the screen.
Yeah.
My point was going to be that they made them this difficult because they cost like $80 or whatever back then.
Yeah.
And that there was no way in heck you were going to be able to get another game even soon. And if you could beat that game in a day, which if all the Mario levels were easy, like it's 8 worlds, 4 levels per world. That's not like a ton of levels, really. And if they weren't like, if you didn't have to keep replaying them to beat them, you would beat that game in a day, and then your mom would go return the game to Toys R Us or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like Ninja Gaiden the same way, right? Ninja Gaiden is not a long game. Like that is a short game actually in terms of levels. But no one ever gets to the last levels because it's so ridiculously hard.
I wonder if all the pixel perfect stuff came from it intending to be hard versus they didn't have the computer system to say this pixel is a dead zone. You know, like the programming software required and the amount of space on these carts is minuscule. And so like the pixel is the pixel. You can't then write a dead zone around the pixel like you can now, you know?
I mean, like, you got to do collision in the way that you understand it, right? Like the sprite touches the other sprite. But I don't think that's the problem, right? They could also make it so that the sprites don't move in really janky and annoying ways, like that dang bat in Castlevania is always in the place that you want to jump. Always. They could have not put it there, right? They could have moved it over to pixels so that its arc didn't always intersect with always where you would jump every time, right? But they didn't. They left it there because they hate you.
That's fair.
And they want you to die there so that you have to replay the level again.
Yeah.
And then so it's like you're not wrong though. Like certainly there are things that are done in modern games now, like checkpoints and stuff that are probably way harder to do when you have to write in 8K of ROM or whatever on an NES.
But Michael, you think that somebody playing Super Mario 3D World would do Well, 3D World's too new.
Yeah, it's not
I mean,
pick 3D World.
you can move that far forward if you want to. I think it's, you just see the progression. But I think that there has become more of an emphasis, and maybe it's to try and reach a wider audience on um only providing that challenge to the people who want it, right? Like being able to play a game at a particular difficulty setting, or in the case of Mario games, making them a little bit more forgiving, right? So that um, if you want a bigger challenge, like there are things that you can do within the game that offer that challenge, but at the same time, you can also play through a game more casually and just enjoy the play.
I mean, I think 3D World is actually a pretty good one to bring up. That's the Wii U game, which is very topically being re-released on the Switch this month. I think
This week.
this week, even
Yeah.
very soon. 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which I know nothing about.
It's a second game. It's like a half game they stuck on the end of it.
Okay, cool.
Not, I wouldn't call it like DLC. It's like it sounds like it's like another game.
Yes.
But the base game 3D World, when I played it on the Wii U, the most of the levels in that game are not that hard. However, once you beat all the normal levels, there is like a bonus world or whatever. And then you get to the end of that, and there is a level called Champions Road, which is ridiculously long and pretty tough because you have the timer, right? Like Mario levels are not that long typically, and they give you, well, I don't know, was it like 500 seconds or 400 seconds? Mario
Sure.
seconds, which aren't real seconds.
Yeah.
Frame seconds.
Yeah, right. It's not quite the same, but like if you drag that all the way out, it's like they stick like 6 levels end to end to end to end to end in that Champion Road level. And it's hard, dude. And you get to the end and you're like dying because you have 10 seconds left, and like 2 more jumps later, you can see that flagpole over there, but you're not going to get there in 10 seconds. You're dead. Go back to the beginning. So they're capable of making difficult levels in the new games, but level 1-1 of Mario 3D World is like a fun runaround time in a cat suit where you like hit Goombas with your paws and run up walls and stuff.
It's a tutorial, and they didn't give you a tutorial on old games.
No, you just had to figure it out.
The tutorial in Mario 1 is, Super Mario Brothers is you press right and what happens? Oh, he moves. Okay.
Yeah,
and then
but
touch
you don't
that
learn that
Goomba
he
and then you die.
accelerates.
And then you start over. How do you run? I don't know. Ask your brother. Yeah. So I just thought that's interesting, and I'm endlessly fascinated by the idea that like games that people think are classics, the next generation will look at and be like, this game kind of sucks.
I'm fascinated you didn't like DK64.
DK64 plays so bad, dude. Oh my god. I don't like that genre. I don't like that genre of like collect-a-thon, pick up every single like 15 note blocks and 10 jiggies and 53 crystals, and then also the 7 pages and the mystical sword as well. Like that just is not my jam. But Michael, didn't we talk about Wonderworld last week, or did we almost talk about it?
We almost talked about it.
We should talk about it because that thing is almost out or soon. There was a demo.
Do you pick up jiggies?
There's you don't pick up jiggies, and there is a demo out. So Balan Wonderworld is the latest game out, coming out from Square Enix, and they put out a demo of it last week and a half ago now. And so being interested and knowing nothing about the game, I decided, you know what, I'll try it. It's free on every system that they are planning to release the game for. So I got it through the Steam store. And I'll take it for a spin and see how it plays. And it took me a while to come up with the best way that I could think of to describe it. And I think the best description that I can give you is if someone decided, I want to make Kingdom Hearts but instead of an RPG, I want it to play like a Lego Batman game.
So Kingdom Hearts.
Got it.
Kingdom Hearts has better combat than Lego Batman.
Which Lego Batman? The first one or the second one?
Any of them?
The second one's all right.
So the demo kind of throws you into it without really giving you any explanation of what the story is. You are playing as a kid who is sad about something, and the character in the top hat who's on all the imagery.
All right, we got to talk about this guy. Hold on.
Yeah,
This is way too important. We can't skip over the guy in the top hat. Andrew, have you seen a picture of this guy?
No.
Michael,
Okay,
find a
hold on.
picture and link it in the chat so Andrew knows.
Okay.
Okay.
This dude, okay. This game was worked on by Yuji Naka, I want to say is his name.
Yes,
right?
Yuji Naka.
Famed creator of, well, not creator, but
are his
artist.
eyes in his hat?
Oh yes,
Yes, they are.
yes. This is a creepy looking hat, dude. What the heck, man?
Who's Yuji Naka?
He's famous for that game Nights into Dreams. Also, like he worked on Sonic for a long time.
Oh, okay.
The 3D Sonic games.
Yeah.
The
3D Sonic
Sega.
games.
Yeah,
Not
he
the
may have worked on
originals.
he may have worked on the older ones too, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Anyway, he famed creator of Sega things that people like from the past. Anyway,
Is this guy a flower with a hat?
A lot of great questions going on here.
Why
Right?
did he cut holes
Wish I
in
had
his
some
hat?
answers for you. So he could see.
I'm
His
confused.
eyes look like they're on the hat, though.
No,
not
it's
even
clearly
on the brim.
okay. I found a zoomed in one. He's got some sort of black head underneath the hat, and then his eyes are cut through the hat band like it's some sort of mask in his hat. But his mouth and nose are missing. But he has arms. It looks like maybe he's some sort of plant. But he has arms and legs. This is very confusing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I actually do want to know kind of what this game is about, but I really can't get over looking. Every time I see this guy, I just get like a general unsettled vibe.
Oh, I didn't see a whole body shot. His legs are twice as long as the rest of him.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's wearing like disco shoes.
He's dressed like a carnival barker,
Yes.
but is like all in white.
It's like Saturday Night Fever at the circus.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
That's
what
a
I was
good
just
one.
about to say. Yep.
Yeah. What is this game about?
I wish I
Okay.
you
Okay,
Michael,
great.
Oh, all right.
So
Well,
you get like I said, they throw you in without really giving you much in the way of story. You get invited into or not invited, but you find your way into a kind of mysterious building that has Balan Wonderworld over the top of it. And you meet this guy who basically sits you down and starts his show and invites you on a journey to find what he says is the missing piece of your heart. So cue Kingdom Hearts right off the bat. So he takes you to this central hub area, and in the demo there's only one world to start with, so you run off to the new world, and
it's like a hub level kind of thing, or it's just like a
yeah, so there's one like central grassy plain, and it has kind of dioramas for each of the worlds around you, and there's only one of them there to start with. So you run towards that one, and it takes you into the first level, and there are crystals for you to collect on your way, and you're just sort of following the path. It's relatively linear towards the end of the level. So fair bit of jumping, not a ton of enemies, mostly just platforming. But the reason why I compared it to Lego Batman is that to reach different areas, you change outfits and you collect the outfits as you play through the levels.
Oh, that's a very Lego game.
Yep. So the first one
Yeah.
you come across is like a wolf costume, and the wolf costume lets you do a spin attack that shoots out a tornado. and you can use the tornado to attack enemies, to break blocks, etc., etc. And so as you progress, there are more and more costumes for you to collect and use in different combinations to reach different areas. So there's like a plant costume, which lets you stretch to twice your normal height. There's a costume that lets you lock onto either enemies or floating objects and grapple yourself towards them so you can reach distant platforms or higher platforms. I think I found 6 maybe in the first couple of worlds, 6 different outfits, each with their own abilities and drawbacks. Like some of them you have a powered up attack, but you can't jump anymore.
Did you have to do the retread? Oh, I got the new suit, and now I know that if I go back to that other level, I can open that thing that wasn't
So
openable.
yes, yeah. So there's definitely
Like,
some of that.
Full on Lego game.
Yes. You can't change through all the costumes on the fly.
Oh, you can only bring a certain amount each level.
You can only carry 3 of them at a time. And I so I didn't know this until after the fact reading through it, but you can change the 3 that you're carrying at checkpoints. So there are checkpoints throughout each level. And if you're standing on a checkpoint, you can like duck into a dressing room and re-outfit your character.
That's cool.
That's nicer than the Lego games that don't let you change your characters you bring until usually after you beat the game, right?
Yeah.
Kinda.
But yeah, so the each one of these worlds has been infected by a weird shadow dude who has shadow minions who you have to beat. If this is sounding like more like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many zippers does your character have?
Maybe just the one normal one.
Okay, not a Kingdom Hearts game then. It's not enough zippers.
Yeah. But I think probably the weirdest thing about it was just how little they actually explain in the demo. They sort of throw you into it without any backstory. There are these strange kind of like fluffy bunny creatures that follow you around. If you remember the what are they called? Ray bites from
Rabbids.
No.
I think he was going to say Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana.
Oh.
The yellow bunny looking enemies.
Man, I was getting all excited for rabbits.
No.
They're just like circles with floppy ears, right?
Basically.
It's basically a rabbit.
Exactly Sure then.
Not wrong.
They follow you around and it's not explained, but in between levels you can feed them the crystals that you collect to grant them abilities that help you. So they're color coded into one of several different colors, and one of the colors will attack enemies for you. One of the colors will point the way towards secret areas. But they don't tell you any of this.
Cool.
How do they expect you
Yeah.
to know this?
That's a very good question. I mean,
I wonder
you can you can feed them the crystals part is explained to you between levels, but the why of it and what it gets you is not at all.
Huh.
I wonder if that's like this is the demo. We don't have time to explain everything, kids. Just like we'll figure it out. You'll learn over time when you actually play the game. I
kind of got that sense. At least that's what I really hope, because otherwise it's going to be real disorienting.
Yeah, geez. I want that to be. The idea of it sounds cool. I just don't. It's so weird looking. I can't get over it.
And there's a lot of dancing too.
Suspended hamburger here on this screen. It looks like a hamburger.
The characters have a look too, like the kid characters and the enemies and stuff. I don't know how to put my finger on what that look is, but it has a look.
It's almost like Wonderful 101 almost.
A little bit. I can see that.
Very like cartoon stylized somehow.
Like almost comic booky, manga-ish. Oh, it's like Akira Toriyama adjacent.
Yeah, definitely like not Akira Toriyama, but like this guy likes Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, it's not like knockoff. It's like I was inspired by him. Yeah,
totally. Well, I'll take this off ramp here. There was a good segue there, but I just completely ruined it. So we're just gonna crash.
Take the next exit.
We're just gonna crash straight into Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected.
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk about
Nope.
crashing and therefore Fast 9.
No, we talked about that last year when that trailer came out.
Xenoblade what?
Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. This is the extra bit of story content that was added to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I beat the base game recently, and I finally started this like extra story that takes place after the main game. Uh, it does have a like little characters that follow you around and they're color coded mechanic, kind of like this the Balan Wonderworld does.
Okay.
Uh, I don't want to talk too much about like the setting and stuff because it was spoilers for people who haven't played and beaten Xenoblade Chronicles. But the land that you are in, the two characters that are with you from the main game are Shulk and Melia, uh, and you get some Nopon companions as well. You have two. One is a Nopon version of Rhine, and the other one is a Nopon version of Charla so far.
Okay.
And they all have skills that are like jokingly named the same as the ones that they have, but like bad puns because Nopons.
Right.
And as you go around, doing your quests and figuring out why you're here and what you're doing and all the various questing stuff, you come across this group called the Pawn Specters, who are like little Boy Scout Nopons that are like strewn about the world in various places.
Okay.
And you can go collect them and they join you and they're walking around like you just have a trail of them following behind you. And I guess the game wants to
Pikmin?
tell me do close kind of, yeah.
I'm picturing more like Russell from Up, short and round and dressed like a Boy Scout.
Yeah, but they're smaller. So like
Pikmin.
they're like little round fluff people. I don't know. I don't know how to describe what they look like.
Lorax?
Yeah, if the Lorax was like short.
The Lorax is short.
Yeah, but like shorter.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, they're like they come up to like your knees. Anyway, these little guys are like all adventurers and explorers and stuff. You collect them, they're color coded, and then they join you in battle, but they're all just kind of like standing around not doing anything until you have like high tension in the battle, and then you can engage their various colors to do stuff. And like the blue ones have like generally support and healing type skills. The yellow ones have like status effects and stuff like that, and the red ones are attack. Um, I don't actually have any red ones yet because probably they're too good. Yeah, they would actually help, and the other ones don't. Um, but it's cool to like go back to this game, having just played the main game again and coming back into it and being like, they de-level your characters, I think, to 60 in this,
Okay.
and you're kind of like divorced from all your gear and all the other stuff. And they take out certain aspects of the system that like just aren't going to matter in this. So there's no affinity. You don't have to worry about like gifting presents to people and all that kind of stuff. Uh, and the battle system is a little more simplified because with these other like Nopon all around you and stuff, you don't have the uh like you can still you don't have the chain attack system the way you did in the regular game, right?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because adding another mechanic to the regular game's already complicated suite would have been just a lot.
Yeah, so all this Nopon stuff seems to take place of the chain attack, and that's a interesting change. Um, so I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's cool to like go back and like run around in these big, and this is a new landmass, so it's an area you haven't seen before. You're just kind of like roaming around, exploring, picking up stuff. It's cool. I'm enjoying this kind of like epilogue to the game. I guess I'm not exactly sure what's going on in this section yet.
Okay, so it's called Future Connected because it connects to Xenoblade 2 or makes the game connect to Xenoblade 2 or something like that?
Couldn't tell you. Haven't seen that yet.
Oh, okay. I was just curious if that was like obvious from the beginning.
Not from the beginning. But this part did come out after Xenoblade 2, though, right? Because
Yeah.
Xenoblade 2 came out and then Definitive Edition came out. So it's very possible that it does that. I don't know. There are already hints at the end of Xenoblade 1 that could potentially connect to stuff in Xenoblade 2. That's for sure. So,
Fair.
all right. Do we want to keep talking about games, or do we want to talk about some other stuff? We can talk about some other stuff. You
You're
want to talk
in
about
charge.
some? Want to talk about some office furniture, Andy?
I do, because I have a question. I think at least one of you uses a swing arm for your mic. Am I wrong?
I use one.
Okay.
JJ does.
I'm trying to join the crew, but you got to tell me the errors that you discovered when mounting, because I'm looking at some limited-ish desk space and I don't want it sticking out into the hallway. I decided to start cleaning up and out a lot of things recently. I don't know about you guys, but pandemic-wise, you start to realize how inundated in things you are, maybe. And I wanted my desk to have a lot cleaner look to it. It's got a lot of clutter, first of all, but my monitor's on like or not my monitor, well, my monitor too, but my mic is on a stand that I have to move every time we pod, because otherwise it'd be right in front of me. And I thought I had seen that one of you was using a swing arm. JJ obviously was the one. And so I went out and looked for one that was decently long, but now I'm concerned that I don't know how I'm going to do this without it sticking out when I'm not using it. Thoughts?
So okay, so the one I have just has like a straight up like vice grip
Yeah.
that like clamps onto the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's like dead simple, right? There's some padding on there, it just clamps onto the side there. That's it. And when I am not using it, right, when I am using it, the cord is kind of like dangling right here over the keyboard and over the back of the desk, so it's not ideal. But when I'm not using it, right, I unplug the cord, I leave the cord next to the back of my keyboard, so it's there, but you can't see it directly. And the arm is like I don't know how to describe it, except like, you know, those like old desk lamps?
Yeah, yeah. I used
It
to
has,
have like a back when we used to play Warhammer, I had one of those lamps that had a magnifying glass in it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably just like this. And there's you know, it twists on its base, and then there's a bend in the middle, right? And then you can
Right.
adjust the very end part of it where the microphone or the magnifying glass or whatever
So I used
would
to
attach.
mount that above me on a separate. I had a separate shelf on my desk, and I'd mount that above me so it wouldn't be in the way when it was in use.
So when you use it, it is in the way, right? Like when the microphone is out, it's in your way. Like this microphone is in my face. This arm is on the side of me. Like I could type on my keyboard, no problem. But
Yeah.
like if I wanted to reach out and touch my monitor, I would hit the arm, right? But when it's not in use, it just folds down and turns sideways, and it's just parallel with my desk. I don't even see it. It's not there. The microphone just sits right there, connected to it, and it's not in my way. I don't even see it. It's barely
This is what I'm
blocks
working
nothing.
towards. This is what I'm working towards. Yep, for sure.
You do want to, though. I mean, like it will stick out a little bit on the edge, right, of the desk. So if you're like really close on a walking way or whatever, the area where the clamps on, you know, is gonna be the farthest out thing. So, you know, be cognizant of that. Maybe put it on the other side of the desk then, if that's the case.
So I also got to go with this. I ordered from Japan, actually, this like super cool looking monitor stand connector, because I wanted to get the monitors up a little higher so that I can do the standing desk thing. And this one allows you to do both. You can put it down low when you're sitting and then pull them up high when you're not, without having to have the whole converter or go to a whole new desk, because I really like my desk. So I'm trying to get all these things onto arms, but I'm worried about them all colliding. So I was just seeing, like.
So the issue you're going to have then if you go to a standing is that this arm is mostly going to be going up for you, right? Whereas my arm is mostly going sideways across the desk.
Because your desk moves up.
Yeah, because the whole surface of my desk goes up. because I have a standing desk, right? Or like a standing desktop that moves up and down as opposed to like lifting my monitor and keyboard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you will know if you do a standing desk, right, is lifting the monitors is all well and good, but what do you about your keyboard? Unless you're going to put your keyboard up on a big box or something, like you're going to be like reaching way down to the desktop where your keyboard is. So you need a way to like elevate all of that at once.
Yeah,
right?
I have a little tray thing.
Okay. Yeah, and then it just becomes about like having that whole thing be as easy to lift up and down as possible so that you just do it more as opposed to be like, this is too much work to set up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is not so bad. I don't think when we are recording, I guess I don't know what other uses you have for the microphone, but when we are recording, it's not like I'm trying to do mega important stuff on these monitors at the same time that I would need to be like poking at them or whatever, right? So it's not a problem that this is kind of blocking part of my desk space here.
Sure. Yeah,
that's all.
I'm trying to get a better workflow. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have entered this mental space in lockdown / coronavirus / staying home in your home office a lot. I know you've ended up having to go to work a lot, Michael, but even in your free time, there's not it's not like we're going to Knott's and Disney and all these other things. So
right,
you're in your office more. It's not like a feng shui thing, but it's definitely, I don't know. I stumbled across desk organization videos, which is like almost some sort of weird subclass of ASMR or something. Where it's just people organizing their desks and showing you their workflows and all that. And I was like, you know what? It would be nice if all this stuff wasn't here. So
I have piles that I know what is in and no one else.
Yes, exactly. That's my current
I
operating.
would not call any of my desk organized. There's a lot of junk on it, but it's my junk. And I like it.
That's my current operating procedure as well. But we're gonna make a change over here.
Okay.
Good
on you, man.
Starting with getting some office equipment to get it more organized. Yeah.
Can't be mad.
Mm-mm.
Maybe there were some strong opinions about this question that was brought up on another podcast that I listened to. And I want to know you guys' opinion because I think as the definitive arbiters of taste, the We Were Gamers podcast here has to weigh in on this very important debate.
For people born between...
Get my robes out.
For people born between like 1980 and 1990.
Well, it's going to fall right into that range, Andrew, because here is the question. Which is the better theme song? The Power Rangers theme song or the Pokemon theme song?
Oh, no.
Between those two, I feel like...
And I think it's I mean, I have an opinion, right? But like...
Answering this question is a trap.
Okay. What is what have we fallen prey to?
Because it's infused with a value judgment of the show. Because people, not that you, I, or Michael are going to make a value judgment of the show when saying which song we think is better, but I think a lot of people, when they hear which song we think is better, they're going to
assume we think the show
is better. Now, in my opinion, I'm probably going to say I also think the show that I pick is better. But that's going to color the argument and people will be upset.
I think people are going to be upset no matter what we pick anyway. So,
but
I mean, I think I'm going to come out and say I like Power Rangers better.
Oh, you're wrong.
I'm gonna disagree with you. Yep.
Nah, man. Nah. I love wanting to be the very best. Like no one ever was. It's great.
Yeah.
But Power Rangers has that shredding guitar, dude.
It does, but
it's got 90s shredded guitar though.
I mean, again, talking about the value of the show, I don't want to I'm not here to argue that Power Rangers the show is better than Pokemon the show.
No, I'm not.
I don't know that I
And
think that's
See,
true.
this is exactly what I said, because all I said in that sentence was it's got 90s shredded guitar, and you went straight to the value of the show.
Yeah, because you're trying to look.
I'm just talking about the
but
song.
I think the 90s shredded guitar is sweet, dude.
I think shredded guitar is sweet, but I don't know. The Power Rangers song is iconic and not bad.
Totally.
But the Pokemon song is better.
Okay. I can accept. I think both answers are good. I don't think there's a right answer here. I just think I like the Power Rangers a little better.
You know what? For me, what it really comes down to is that I like my favorite theme songs over the years are ones that like tell a small story.
Mm-hmm.
And of those two, the Pokemon theme song definitely does that, whereas the Power Rangers theme song is just kind of like Power Rangers, yeah.
Okay. Fair. So what if you then take this and go, oh well, what about Ninja Turtles, right?
Way better than the Power Rangers theme song.
Yes, way better than the Power Rangers theme song. I don't know if I would quite put it over the. That one's hard because there's more.
I think it's better than
there's
Pokemon.
There's more nostalgia for me tied up in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than there is for Pokemon, which is going to put it over the top.
See, again, that's the value of the show.
Well, that's not just the show, but it's like the toys that I had when I was a much younger kid.
Dude, did you have the turtles that converted? You folded their legs into their shell.
1 or 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool, dude.
So good. Here's my answer to this question. The singability of the song matters. Not always is it the best part, because there are plenty of singable TV songs that are really bad. But in the scale of good, I'm going to put one that I would enjoy singing above the others. Why DuckTales would be a better song than any of these, right?
Sure. I was going to say, we're not talking about DuckTales here because DuckTales just wins.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So that's the hierarchy, really, is can you get in a group of people and sing it and everybody else would start? And I think Power Rangers falls to the bottom of that list.
I mean, I think if you're doing a group karaoke thing and you put on Power Rangers, everyone would be like, go, go, Power Rangers.
But that's all they're going to sing.
Yeah, but that's all you want if you're putting that song on.
But if you hear the Pokemon song start up and everyone
is going to sing all
everybody hits the lyrics from the very beginning together, it's a different experience, right? And so I'm trying to devalue the shows in this opinion, and I go to your karaoke thing's a great example. Being in a group and thinking about what the nostalgia would mean to everybody. I think you could talk about Power Rangers forever and be like, remember this one, remember that one, but it's more about the show than the song.
Okay. I accept that judgment.
Deep thoughts. Pokemon 1 2-1. With it being trumped by Ninja Turtles and then over trumped by DuckTales.
Yeah. I mean, I think is there any question that DuckTales is the best of all the ones we've just talked about?
Not even
is, right?
I mean, DuckTales is near the top on just about any list.
Right, yeah. So good, man. Oh. All right. I wanted to do a few quick hits here at the end. Andrew, I know we talked about some anime recently.
Oh yeah, One Punch Man.
Yeah. I didn't watch more of that. I also didn't watch more of Iron Blooded Orphans season 2. Like I said, I was going to.
You're leaving me hanging, and it's okay. I accept that I may have gone down an anime path that you can't follow.
Instead, I decided to watch the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Dude,
why did I do that?
That first season is a tough watch.
I'm on episode 4. It's all right.
It gets better.
It's very slow.
Yeah, it gets better. When does she? Well, first you have to realize it's a she. I don't know if I'm hitting spoilers. I don't know if you remember the show at all.
The original?
Yeah, isn't that the original, or is that the second series where it's the two pilots. Might be remembering
So-
the second series.
You might be, because the first series so far, the only pilot is Amuro and his big white Gundam.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe another pilot shows up later, and I'm not that far in. I'm only on like episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay,
girl
I'm
so
remembering
far
the
is like
second.
his-
I'm remembering the second series off the top
Okay.
of my head. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy who looks sure a lot like what's his name, Peacecraft from Gundam Wing, though. I will say the bad guy who literally wears a mask and has yellow hair.
Oh,
and it
Zex
looks-
Maquis or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that guy's name is in Wing. There's a dude who's named Lieutenant Char, who is literally just like the same dude. It like looks red outfit, the whole like military uniform. It's like the same guy. Except he's in a Zaku, so he's cooler, I guess, because Zakus are cool.
No,
That's
I'm
all I got.
totally okay. Okay. Mm-mm. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I don't think I'm actually remembering the second one. I think it's the first one.
Okay, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Spoilers for a 50-year-old TV show, I guess. It's
Let
like not a
me-
big deal.
Let me tell you, things are gonna get weird
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of
Believable.
that.
I've heard, and that's actually kind of why I want to watch it. I heard that there's some interesting stuff. So
Yeah, things get weird. I don't know if it's good, but it's good that you're watching it. Let's say, as a fan of later Gundam, you should watch young older Gundam.
that is why. That is actually why I'm doing this. Right? I think I have. It's like, you know what? I like Gundam stuff. I have a RX-78-2 mug from Japan that I bought at a Gundam store. I should probably watch the original Gundam, right?
Yeah.
Feels like something I should. It's not even that many episodes, and they're like 20 minutes or whatever, because 30-minute TV shows, right?
I'm gonna give you a hot take right here. The RX-78-2 is like one of the best looking Gundams.
100%. There's a reason I bought that mug and not other ones. I didn't buy the one from Gundam Seed or Gundam 00 or any of the other ones. Like, I bought that one because
It's-
that one's sweet.
It's just so good looking. It's so crisp and clean. You get what it is.
Iconic. It's iconic, man.
Yeah. Well, good on you for
Yeah.
pulling that out. If you happen to get back to Iron Blooded Orphans, I would rank that. It's tough
Heard
though.
so many good things about that show, and I really liked season 1. I watched like one episode of season 2, and then I completely fell off. It's not
Season-
because I didn't like it, just
Yeah.
like I just did other things.
It goes so different than season 1. It immediately is different when they're stuck on Earth and you have to like catch up on who some of these people are that you don't remember and all that kind of thing. And there's a bunch of new characters, but man, it gets cool by the end of the thing.
I want to see it through because I liked it. Right? Are they making more of that show?
No,
Maybe- no, right?
Spoiler, no.
Think so. Okay.
They will not be making more of Iron Blooded Orphans.
I mean, you could just say no. Okay, cool. All right. Getting pretty close to the end here. Got any other quick hits? Anything you want?
Yeah, I have to apologize
say,
to
Andy?
Michael.
Uh-oh. What about?
We had a discussion on this podcast about donuts.
We've had many.
Yeah. One time I think I scathed you about a cinnamon roll
Okay.
not being a donut. And I stand by the fact that what most people think is a cinnamon roll is not a donut. It's pastry.
I'm really interested to hear.
I
about
want to know
the
where this is
line.
going.
The donut shop down the street from me does a cinnamon roll in a puffy donut. So it looks like a cinnamon roll, but it's with the airy fried donut batter.
So it's like the spongy dough
Yeah.
of a donut.
And that cinnamon roll is a donut, and it's wonderful.
That sounds delicious.
And so I apologize to the people who, when they said cinnamon roll donut, meant that type of donut and not an actual cinnamon roll.
Okay.
I didn't want to try it. I looked at it and I said, that's a cinnamon roll. it's pastry. I wanted a donut, but it looked glazed, and then I bit into it, and it was airy and puffy and tasted like a cinnamon roll, but at the same time, it tasted like a donut.
Yeah, those are the best kind.
Yeah. And I didn't know that existed, and my life has now changed. I may be switching between that and apple fritters.
Who forced you to buy this so that you would actually try it? Because you said you weren't into it, and then all of a sudden you got it just because.
Me in 2021 saying I have to stand by my opinions, and therefore I need to try this
You have to
donut
challenge
shop
yourself.
cinnamon roll and challenge my assumptions.
Got it. Okay. Great.
It was
Changed your
early.
life.
We left for the mountains at 6 a.m. to go see the snow, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a better man out of myself this morning.
Truly, the betterment of mankind is all of our jobs. So, well done. I think that's great. I don't have a donut shop near me that I like. I wish I did now because it's making me hungry.
You know, for the lack of some foods in Orange County, donuts are plentiful and good here.
There is no shortage.
I could go for a sidecar right now, which sounds like a drink, but is a donut shop.
I mean, it's also a drink. I'm an old-fashioned glazed person.
Yeah, I think the chocolate glazed for me.
Like, but
Also
that's the puffy one, not the cake.
Either one, I like them both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it.
You know, I've been
whichever way.
leaning into the blueberry cake glaze recently.
I
It
like
surprises
the cake
me.
ones.
It's good.
I'm not against it. I'm for the cake ones, man. Some people not into them. I'm into them.
I'm getting really hungry at the end of this episode.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to the end here. There's more coming next week on the horizon, but we're not there yet.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So maybe, folks, if you have questions and you want us to answer them, we'll batch them all up and talk about them. Where could they send that stuff?
Well, if you really want to send them in, I would title them DK64 is a good game, and here's why. And then I'll show them all to JJ before he can read them at podcast@weweregamers.com. We Were Gamers everywhere on the internet. You could tweet that same thing at us. I think there's enough characters that you could then finish that statement. I'll make him read them.
It's doubtful you could get a good argument in the amount of characters left. But
I
you could try.
challenge everyone.
You should try it.
DK64 good game equals, and then you've got a lot of characters to work with.
You get 280 characters. You could type use some proper grammar here. Come on.
Okay. Well, they have to fit at We Were Gamers in there too.
All right.
Because our
I think
DMs are not
those
open.
don't count towards your character limit anymore.
Yeah,
Oh.
Twitter finally fixed that dumb thing.
You can see I'm so hip on the rules.
We, the social media mavens.
So yeah, our giant media company that we've built here.
Yeah. Don't worry, our SEO will catch all this stuff, guys. Please send it our way.
Yo, there's a YouTube. It's got carbon scoring on it, which is gonna be back in February. We took a month off because 2 of the 3 of us have kids, and it's just hard to recover from the holidays and do this type of stuff and jobs. So that's coming back this month with a special episode. It's gonna be weird, but stick with us for that. There's all sorts of stuff on there on the YouTube. Yeah.
All right.